It's yapping time. I feel very lost, and I feel very hopeless, because I don't know what the future holds for the world. It's not even about me anymore. It's just about what's going to happen around me. Because I am experiencing firsthand that there's no jobs, that you can't get a simple job anymore at McDonald's or anything like that. Like 10 years ago, before the big spread of a certain virus, things are just getting way too difficult. The difficulty, it jumped 5 levels, whatever you want to call it. Just, it's unplayable. I feel like for the average person, this world is unplayable now. You really have to make things work, no matter, you have to find any way to make things work. I'm very grateful that I have parents that are allowing me to still live with them, but my living situation is not the greatest. Most people would absolutely hate where I'm living. I don't really want to get very specific. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But I don't, thankfully, because of where I live with my parents, they planned out that they don't have to pay very much rent in this place. But it's like, I also just think at the same time, they didn't deserve this. They didn't deserve, after literally retiring, that they get screwed over as well from the job market, that they can't even get a house. We originally wanted to get a house as soon as they retired, but no, the housing market just skyrocketed out of nowhere. And that's just the problem too, is that a lot of this AI and all this high tension in the world just happened out of literally, tension and frustrations have always existed, of course, but there's just a new level to it as well. Along with how I said earlier about the difficulty of playing this game of life and just surviving got turned up. And so did just, the tension between people, the social aspect of life. Just there's been the signs have been there since the beginning of the internet, and in the in the 90s and early 2000s, the signs have been there, but that was the honeymoon phase, because it was still something new and people were having fun, but there are countless stories out there and that are still happening to this day of people getting exploited, straight up despawning, getting thrown back into the lobby, into the gulag, because of someone else's frustration, someone else's complete anger over the way things are. I'm not gonna go again into much detail, because YouTube they're so strict with talking about these very dark topics. But I feel like I'm not gonna. I respect my viewers' intelligence, that I'm not going to. I'm not gonna go into any more detail. I think what I'm implying is very obvious. So yeah, it's ridiculous right now, to say the least. And I'm pissed, and I'm not alone in that. And it didn't have to. I don't know. Who's to say that this shouldn't have happened? This could have been prevented. I know that there's a worse thing going on right now in the world in a certain region with 2 countries, and that there's also countries out there that treat their people even worse than the US. But it's just, in the US we have so much, but at the same time we're just being taken advantage of at this point. Like we can't even enjoy the fruits of our labor. We can't. The average person is getting punished for making a simple choice of not choosing higher education. And I mean, higher education to begin with was already skyrocketing in price, that people like myself, we thought it wasn't even worth it to go for it. But because of what's happening, I personally feel like I regret it. Like I feel like even more of a failure because I didn't pursue a bachelor's degree. But at the same time, I've heard stories about how people got their bachelor's degrees and they still can't get a job in their own career. So make it make sense. Government or whatever, like, make it make sense. Nothing makes sense anymore. And that's why I feel hopeless and just lost. I don't know. All I can do is just cope. All I can do is cope and vent. Cope by just continuing to do what I love to do as my hobbies. And of course, most people do that already, and if, all you can do is just keep doing that, because life is just so much more difficult. And it really sucks how people are practically forced to live with roommates and have depend on strangers or something. Like, I don't want that. I'm so lucky that I don't have to resort to that, but I know that there's people out there this moment in the US that have to do that. And I'm not even living in a super expensive state like California or New York or any like big city, big tourist states. I'm not living in those areas, but it's still like, even in a cheaper state, which I'm living in right now, like it's also just, I know that people are just they're not enjoying themselves as much as they should. And I'm in no place to talk about politics, so I'm not ever going to do that, but it's just, someone has to fix this soon. I don't know who it's going to be. I don't know how many more years it's going to take, but it's absurd. It's absurd how this life screwed me over and screwed my entire generation over. It's a bad joke. It's a bad joke. All I can really say to this is, it is what it is. I don't want to be a doomer. I don't want to be so negative and have such a negative outlook on life, but life has forced my hand. Like, I can't take it anymore, man. I can't. I'm not gonna go to the extreme of, ending my playthrough, but it's just very, very hard now to gather the materials and just save up, just to try to find a way to have a better living situation. And it's really unfair. I know nothing's gonna change from venting and just whining all the time on the internet, but it's just the least I can do for myself to also just cope with the situation. But at the same time, I also just gotta keep holding on to some hope and believe that things will get better. Not just for me, but for everyone. And yeah, that's about it. See ya.